On this week's live stream, meet a celebrity scratcher whose wacky comedy creations have amassed almost 1 million views. Plus, zip up your profile page with an amazing multi-screen thumbnail animation. And we'll check out a faithful new recreation of a classic arcade game. All this and more coming up on the Chromeworks live stream. Good morning, Internet. It's Mr. Tomec back again with another great live stream lineup. I've got lots of interesting stuff for you today, including the much teased interview that I'm going to be doing in a couple of minutes. And we've got some other great stuff coming up as well. I've got the long-awaited return of my Extreme Makeover series, where I have a look at an old, at a simple Scratch project and kind of buff it up a little bit with some new features. And we've got game reviews and our storytelling corner and lots of stuff lined up for you guys. So I'm really excited to have you here. Not a lot of action on the Discord this morning. Deck is here, as always, from London, England. Good morning, Deck.
Hi.
And over on YouTube, not much action. I had a message earlier from somebody by the name of Sneaky, but I'm not sure if he's still with us. So if you are lurking on YouTube, please give us a little mention in the text in the chat here, and I will be happy to give you a shout out on the show. So let's get right into the business at hand here. So Scratch, at latest look here, we have 80 million viewers or 80 million accounts in Scratch right now. That is actually equivalent to the population of Germany. So Scratch is a gigantic community and growing more every year. The last couple of years during the pandemic have just taken it into overdrive. And so any big community like that with millions of people is going to have prominent members, people who kind of stand out as celebrities, just as I'm sure Germany has its own celebrities. So I got really interested in this a few weeks back when somebody stopped by our live stream, and I only realized later when Thane texted me that this was somebody who had thousands and thousands of viewers on Scratch, and it got me thinking, wow, these people who are so influential in the Scratch community, who in some cases have millions and millions of views on their stuff, they're mostly anonymous, and we don't know much about them or who they are or how they got to be where they are here. I was having a look at the stats here. This is scratchstats.com, a great website for figuring out where you are ranked in the Scratch community. And you can see here a long list of famous Scratchers, and many of them have tens of thousands of viewers. And you can see exactly where they rank here. You can also see who has the most views here as well. So we can view this by views and see that, there are some people here who like Griff Patch, the legendary king of all Scratchers, has 139 million views for his projects. And we've got many more Scratchers here with thousands and thousands and thousands of views on their stuff. So there are real celebrities in the Scratch community, including our guest today, PaddlerGames, who's just joined us in the YouTube chat, and he's welcome to drop in onto my Discord as well to say hi. So Paddler was the person who dropped in a couple of weeks ago, who got me interested in this idea of celebrity Scratchers and what giving them a little bit more profile in the community. So I did a couple of things this week. Number one, I sent Aiden, who's been doing our Scratcher profiles, out to have a look at Paddler's work. And let's start by showing you his little profile here. So here is a look at the life and work of PaddlerGames.
This episode on Scratcher of the Week, we're going to be talking about a really funny scratcher named PaddlerGames. He makes animations and has more than 12,000 subscribers. He's very well known for his iconic self-portrait, which you may have seen in the background. And he's also very well known for ending his videos with something shocking like falling over. Now we'll go ahead and give you guys a short clip to show you guys what he's all about. One thing I really enjoy about PaddlerGames is his animation style. He always keeps it pretty similar, so whenever I'm watching one of his sketches, I know immediately it's from PaddlerGames. I'll show you guys a few quick clips back to back so you can see what I meant.
And they stay there, and they say yeah.
A lot of PaddlerGames' most loved projects and some of my personal favorite projects feature other popular scratchers. I'll show you some quick clips from some of those projects so you guys can see why they're so loved.
Sorry, we're out of tissues.
Soap.
Nope.
Toilet paper?
No. Oops.
Wait, Paddler's first?
Always has been.
That'll do it for this episode of Scratcher of the Week on PaddlerGames. If you want to check out more of his stuff, there'll be a link on the screen so you can do that, and have a great day. Thanks.
So Paddler was just mentioning the costumes that some of those graphics are his older style. There's definitely sort of two periods that Paddler went through in his work. Originally with sort of more primitive figures, and then he graduated to something that looks much more sophisticated. So that profile showed kind of a mix of his different projects. Let's get right to the meat of it here. I did a little phone interview with Paddler last week, and I've put it together into a little video for you. Paddler didn't want his face shown on camera, so I'm premiering this week my real-time animation system, which I previewed for you guys a few weeks ago, and now I'm actually using it in an actual interview, and you'll see what I did with it right here. So I'm joined here by PaddlerGames, a famous scratcher. He hails from Florida, and he's 17 years old, and he's been scratching since he was 10 years old, by what I see here. Is that right, Paddler?
Yes, almost 7 years.
Wow. So tell me how you got into Scratch, how you first heard about it, and what attracted you to it.
Yeah, well, I wanted to make my own game on Scratch because I was into online games at the time. Mm-hmm. So I was searching Google for ways of how to make online game, and I found this website called code.org. Have you heard of it before? Code.org?
Yeah, I have indeed. They do mostly text coding rather than but I have heard of it.
And through that website, I found Scratch, and I clicked on the link, and then I wanted to remix someone else's project because I wanted to modify it. And to do that, I had to make an account. So I made an account with my name, PaddlerGames, and I saved the project in my account, and that was in 2015.
Okay. And did you find that you had kind of a style right away? You were making games at first, eh? You didn't really do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what made you switch to telling stories instead of making games?
Oh, well, in 2020, I came back to Scratch because of the pandemic, and I saw some animators around Scratch, and they were making their own stories, and I like watching other stories, and I wanted to make my own, so I decided to make my own, and I found my own animating style, and art style along the way as I made more projects, more stories.
Okay, so you only really seriously got into the storytelling aspect during the pandemic then. So before that, you were
Yeah.
basically making games. Were you picking up a lot of followers when you were making games, or was it when you switched gears that things started to really accelerate for you?
Definitely when I switched to making stories, making animations.
Right. And so did it start right away? Like, was your first project really successful, or did it take a while to get attention?
It took a while for me. I had to make like 3 or 4, and then my fourth one started getting more of attention because I made an animation about being stuck at home, and it was about someone being stuck at home, and it's similar to how the COVID pandemic was, right? Everyone was stuck at home, so that animation got the most attention
Right. So
out of all.
finding something that's timely that kind of has to do with what's happening in the world right now
Yeah,
is something that really helps to get attention.
yeah, it was based off that.
Oh, that's interesting. Um, okay, so did you find that the techniques that you were applying here, coming up with your own art style and animating it, like did it come naturally or did it take some experimentation?
It took some experimentation, and I based it off art styles of other sketches I found, and I combined it until I made one that I liked.
Right. So you have this iconic character.
Yeah.
Is it you? Is it supposed to be a representation of you?
It's kind of like the skin color is about the same, and it's kind of me, except yeah, it's pretty much me, pretty
Okay.
much.
Okay. So in a way, you're kind of putting yourself into these different stories that
Hmm.
you're telling, eh?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
A lot of wacky stuff that you've been doing here. I've been looking over some of your videos and really enjoying them. You make really good use of sound effects and music
Yeah.
and those kind of cues. Is this something that you learned along the way, or how did you understand the importance of audio in this art that you're doing?
Yeah. Well, I was originally going to use voices in my animations, but my voice didn't sound good with the animations I made, so I decided to rely heavily on sound effects to tell the story,
Okay.
and that's why I use so many sound effects in my projects.
So where do you source your sound effects? Do you just have a go-to website or something?
I sometimes get it from other Scratches projects, and sometimes I find YouTube videos and I download it from the YouTube link and I put it into my project.
Right, right. Okay. So, do you find that you get a lot of attention from other scratchers? Like, your mailbox must be full all the time, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
it is. I check it every day, so it doesn't stay full for long.
okay. So, is it fun being a celebrity scratcher, or do you find you're getting?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's fun being but like it's sometimes I can't answer every single message I get in my inbox, so that's not so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think I saw that you have
So,
do you have a fan club online? Did I see that correct?
oh yeah, I do. I have a PaddlerGames fan club studio, and
That's gonna
I
be great.
invite the people who follow me on Scratch. I invite some of them to the studio to join the studio, and I have a question of the week, and the people who are on the studio answer the question of the week every week.
Oh, that's got to be great for your ego having a fan club at age
Hmm.
17.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. So, what kind of projects are you planning to work on in the future?
Oh wow. Right now, I'm working on. I want to really make a long story because a lot of my projects on Scratch are 2 to 3 minutes long. I want to take more like a kind of movie, not a movie, but like something that's 10 minutes long. So I'm thinking of making a Christmas special in the future for Christmas
Oh,
because the holidays are coming up.
right. So for this Christmas. Wow. Okay. Well, we're looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing that. It'll be a little bit of a longer project, you're suggesting.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Do you see yourself doing this in years to come, or are you going to get sick of Scratch at some point?
I might get to the point where I'm too busy with things I do outside of Scratch that I might have to leave or stop using Scratch.
Right. So you're 17. You're just graduating high school this year. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I'm just graduating soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna graduate.
So can I ask you what you want to do with the rest of your life?
Well, I'm interested in I'm interested in computer science stuff because I have experience with other coding languages besides Scratch, so I might look into that in college.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'm sure you have a bright future ahead of you. You've already made quite a name
Yeah.
for yourself, sir.
Hmm.
Okay. So, any advice for new scratchers who are looking to get into this and want to get some attention? What kinds of tips can you offer them?
Yeah. Well, my tips are to make projects that other people will like, and so if other people like them, then you'll get more support on them. And that's what I did. I made projects that I knew people would like, and I got support on it.
Right. But how do you know people are going to like it, though? Like, that's the trick, I guess, right? So,
Well, my rule for projects is if I enjoy watching it, then I'm sure other people will enjoy watching it too.
right. So, something that makes you laugh and that you think it's
Yeah.
funny and cool. Okay. So,
Yeah.
stay true to yourself when you're making these things, I guess, is a good piece
Yeah.
of advice. Excellent. Okay. Well, I wish you luck in all your future endeavors here, Paddler. I've been watching a lot of your videos and really enjoying them a lot, and I know your fans have as well. What do you think of your animated avatar that I set up for you here?
It looks good. I'm glad things are making it.
Yeah, no troubles at all. I just wanted something to illustrate
Yeah.
you rather than me just talking to a blank screen here. Well,
Yeah, I saw you used it in the last stream you did. You were my avatar for the entire stream, and
yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah, well, thank you. I was experimenting with how to animate this thing without having to do every single frame of animation, and I think I came up with something
Hmm.
really cool. Anyway, looking forward to seeing more of your work, especially your next Christmas project. Looking forward to that. Very nice talking to you, and
Thank you.
thanks. This has been Paddler Games, famous scratcher from Florida. Nice talking to you. Hey! So we had a little shout out to Paddler here from apparently one of his biggest fans, Barbara Grabsky. He's saying hello in the chat here. Hi, Barbara, and welcome to the stream. I was hinting and talking a little bit a few minutes ago about my real-time animation system, and that's right here. I'm going to link to it in the file description later after I'm done here, if you guys are interested in looking at it yourselves. It's a super flexible system. You're going to see that I'm going to be using it more in future interviews as they come up. And by the way, if you're out there in Scratchland and you have more than 10,000 viewers, I would love to do a little profile of you, so you can reach out to me by email or in my comments here on this file here. I would love to talk to more of you. I do have a couple more celebrity scratchers lined up here, but I'd like to do a series and talk to more of them as time goes on here. And for each one, I'll be happy to show your faces and run an interview that way if you want to. But otherwise, I'm just going to take one of your iconic characters and we'll animate it using this system. I wanted to show you something that one of my fans out there has done, and one of Paddler's fans has done to take this a step further. So a user by the name of Schedule Off remixed this project and added a whole bunch of new features to it. So you guys will remember that in my original project, I created the ability to move his arms around independently. So right arm, left arm. You can see how the lips move when I talk. You can move both arms up, and you can nod by hitting the down button, and you can smile by hitting the space key. So just some simple different functions, but if you make them run while you're talking, you can see that it creates the illusion that he's actually talking in real life. So I want to show you this remix that was done by Schedule Off, and he did some fantastic new features that he added to this game. Number one, there's some new audio. Whoa, I think we're a little transparent here.
Hey guys.
There we go. So when you click on the background, it switches to different surroundings, which I thought was kind of cool. You can click on his computer and find out what he's been watching. It pulls up a random little audio clip. Let me try that right now.
Oh no, not again. Pick yourself up, brush yourself off. Back up you go.
That was Griff Patch for those of you who aren't aware of who that audio clip was from. Let's do another one.
Everything you know and love is
Hey. And
now here's a kittens.
oh no, Rick rolled. Okay, I'm going to stop that. All right. And let me, we got some issues
guys.
here. And our user here has also added some new facial features. So they're connected via the keyboard via the keyboard numbers here. So if I hit number 1, for example, we get an angry expression. Number 2, it makes him sad. Number 3 makes him look up to the right. I think that's really cool, actually. Nice little bit of animation there. And number 4 makes him kind of squint at the camera. So a fantastic little remix here by Schedule Off. I would, he's promising even more stuff in the future, and actually even this week while I've, since the first time that I saw it, he's added a few more features like the computer section here. So this is an eminently remixable file, as you can see. This is fantastic work. So if you're interested in doing something similar, I would suggest you design your own character and animate them inside this system. You can steal my software and remix this into something totally cool, and I would love to see what you can come up with. And if you do want to remix this, I'm happy to show it online as well. Okay, so let's get moving along here anyway. I wanted to mention as well that Paddler has agreed to do a little online tutorial for us on character animation and coding. So he will be joining us in our Discord channel after next week's live stream. So next Saturday, I believe December 1st, at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Paddler will be in our Discord. And if you'd like to join us and have a look at that, just reach out to us. You can connect to our Discord from our website. Remember that you need parental permission to log into our Discord if you're under 13 years of age. So you're gonna have to fill out a little form if you want to take part in this little workshop that we're planning. But we're very excited to bring that to you. And I'd like to run more kind of workshops, live interactive workshops on our Discord channel, and those will be coming up in future weeks. I might very well record some of this and show it on YouTube as well, for those of you who can't join us on Discord. Okay, so hi to Funny Animator Jim, another celebrity scratcher who's a regular contributor here on Chromeworks, and he's just joined us a few minutes ago. Hi again to Jim. And okay, let's move along here. Anyway, we've got lots of other content to show off here. Number 1, I would like to give another plug to my Christmas parade. Now remember that every year, Chromeworks, let me put this on. Turn the volume down here. So every year, Chromeworks runs a Christmas special, and this year we're doing it on December 17th. And we would love to have you contribute a float. These are clips from last year's parade, and you can see that every contributor just basically designed their own sprite and animated it, and then we slapped it all together into a single scratch project, which we shared with the community. And so this is the big culmination of our annual Christmas special. We've got lots of other stuff going for our Christmas special this year. I've just finished work on a fantastic new Santa game that my co-op student David Cotton has helped me with, and I think it's going to be a big hit in the Scratch community. We're really excited to show that to you. We've got a whole bunch of other content ready to go as well. So join us on December 17th for that. If you're interested in contributing a float to my parade, you can do so by going to my website, chromeworks.ca/parade. And let me show you that right now. Whoops, I got a not found here. I put an extra character in there. So if you go to chromeworks.ca/parade, you will find all the instructions you need to make your own parade float and submit them. There's also a little video here that Kevin put together for me that explains how the process works as well. So do check it out, and I would love to see your submissions, guys. I want to have a really big parade this year. Okay, so I was reached out to this week by a viewer by the name of, what's Apple Pinku, who has he's a grade 4 student. He didn't tell me where he was from, but he's done a really cool project here called the water cycle. And he's a beginner scratcher. You can see there's nothing too complicated in the code. He drew his own sprites himself. But I think it's a nice example of how to do a school project inside Scratch and show what you know. You don't need to do a whole lot of coding to make this happen. And I just think it's a nice little piece of work. If you're interested in making your own projects in school and using Scratch as a tool, we're going to be producing some more tutorials in the future on how to do that. Let me, so I wanted to, I did like Apple Pinku's work here, but I wanted to do a little bit of tweaking to it to show you how we can do something a little more interesting with it. So it's time for our extreme makeover segment. I had a little video for that, but it's not queued up properly anyway. So I want to show you how we can take this simple concept and torque it up a little bit. So Apple Pinku's project here uses events to have it switch from one part of stage of the water cycle to the next. And well, I thought we needed a little bit more text here. So I'm using the events that Apple Pinku has created here. And I've torqued things up a little bit with some text. So I created a new costume here with labels for the different stages of the water cycle: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Now, if you wanted to, you could also add some extra text to explain what these things are for. So if I had a little bit more time, I would have taken some text here and added something underneath about condensation here, and explain what it's all about, right? So if you want to do something a little more elaborate, you can add a little bit of text to your project that way. Whoop, I spelled condensation wrong. Let's put an extra N in there so that I don't lose my teaching credentials here. All right. Anyway, so we've created these 4 things, and so inside the sprite for this text, I created a little custom block called fade in, fade out, and it just uses a ghost effect to make the text fade in, wait 1 second, and then fade out again. And so now we're going to have a little introduction appear when the green flag is clicked. And then you can see that when we get each of these messages for the different stages of the water cycle, it'll cycle through them. I've downloaded a little sound that would kind of typify what each different stage of the water cycle would sound like. And so we play the sound, we change the costume, and then we fade in, we fade out. So let me show you what that looks like now with my little extreme makeover. There's the water cycle. Oh, I'm going to hide myself here. Whoops. Let me get the volume cranked up here a bit. So you can see there's lots of opportunities to do other stuff with this and add some detail to it. So making this project better is just about putting a little bit of extra sweat into the project. I would add a little bit more text here that explained what each of the steps was. I would maybe have added some background music as well to play through the whole thing. Just do just put it inside a forever loop and play the sound until done, just to torque it up a little bit. Deck is quite impressed with this project. He says he's a fan of geography, and he says this is simple but effective. I agree. So I'd love to see you guys come up with similar projects. If anyone's working on anything for school that they want to share with us. I got really into this school project idea last week when I did the ants project, and I've just been thinking more and more about ways that this can be used to show off what you've learned in school. So I'd love to have a look at what you guys can come up with here. Please share any project with me. As always, my email here is, where'd my email thing go? info@chromeworks.ca, or you can leave a comment on any of my other videos and it will get to me for sure. All right, so Meanwhile, we've got some more content from our great co-op students, including our weekly Story Corner segment. You remember that every week we do a little segment here describing an element of how something was made inside of how a storytelling project was made, and kind of peek under the hood and have a look at the coding or the art style that was used to create it. This week we're having a look at the art inside one project. So Kevin Dye has brought us this report right now.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Story Corner. My name is Kevin, and today we're going to take a look at a short animation called Kids Be Like, made by a scratcher called Pog Animator. Let's dive right into it.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
What struck me as interesting about this project was the drawings of the character with an orange hoodie. Notice that there is a contrast between the colors in the brownish hair, the orange hoodie, and the golden crown. Let's have a closer look inside. As you can see, color of the hair has 3 different contrasts of color. These colors are basically pieces that were framed from the hair and colored with a darker or lighter color, which is why we can pull out small pieces out of the hair. The same logic applies to the crown and the orange hoodie as well. A good example of this technique would be the red character from Among Us. Notice that most of the bottom part of the character is darker than the upper part. The contrast between the darker or shaded part and the lighter or normal part is what makes the character look more three-dimensional and real. Well, to create something like that, you'll need to draw out the character first. No stick people though. Make sure that you've converted it to vector before drawing. After you've drawn a character, try picturing a sun on the top right corner of the screen that shines upon your character and creates a shaded or darker part on the character. Then, frame the parts of the character that you think will be darker or shaded if there's a sun shining on it from the top right corner. A reminder that the sun or light source doesn't have to be on the top right corner. It could be anywhere depending on what type of character you want to draw and what kind of emotion or atmosphere you want to create, whether it's a heroic character or a suspicious person, etc. That's it for today's Story Corner. I remind you to keep scratching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more awesome Story Corner videos.
Well, so I just wanted to highlight the animator who put this together. It looks like he's a brand new scratcher. His name's Pog Animator. Whoop. This isn't working properly. It was supposed to zoom where I point my mouse cursor, but I think the preferences are set up wrong. So it says here he joined just 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure if this is his first Scratch account. He might have been under a different account before then, but apparently he's a brand new scratcher. Basically, he seems very happy to have got his first 100 followers, and just a funny little project. Deck liked it a lot as well. He was commenting that he saw that audio clip on YouTube as well. So yeah, good example of how you can take a fun, viral little video clip and turn it into your own little project. I've seen that done quite a bit by different Scratch animators, and it's a great way to get yourself noticed. So congratulations to Pog Animator. So I promised you in the teaser here a video on how to create your own animated thumbnails. You guys can see even on this page here that that Pog Animator has done some stuff with animated GIFs here. I especially like the idea that you can take multiple animated thumbnails and stretch them across multiple screens on your profile page to give your page a real pop. Now, this turns out to be a little bit more complicated than you'd think it would be. If you're doing a studio, you can't just load an animated GIF into your studio thumbnail, but In version 3, that ability was taken away from your game and project thumbnails in Scratch. So you can't, if you try to upload an animated GIF into your thumbnail, it won't work. Except it turns out that there's a little bit of a hack that makes it possible. And so Abraham, my co-op student, has done a little report on how to get those animated thumbnails even into your Scratch projects, and also how to get multiple ones into your studio so that you can have strings of images just like we've done here. All right, let's have a look at that right now.
Have you ever scrolled through a Scratch profile and came across a GIF that spans across multiple projects or studios and wondered how they did that? Well, it's really not as complicated as you may think it is, and after this you can decorate your own profile using GIFs. Here's a look at my own profile. As you can see, I have a GIF that spans across 3 projects. You want to start off by choosing a GIF that you would like to incorporate into your project or studio. Here I've chosen a very typical GIF off of Google. The website we'll be using to crop our GIFs is easygif.com. You can find this by searching up EasyGif, and it should be the first option that pops up. Find the GIF that you have downloaded and insert it into the easygif.com. Although it might take a while for it to upload. Here I've sped up the process, but normally it took about like 30 seconds. Once the gray border shows up, you'll know it's ready to be cropped. Simply choose a size that fits Scratch and is small enough for you to get multiple crops out of it. I should also mention that having an animated thumbnail will eliminate any chance of you being featured on the Scratch front page. Once you have found a suitable place to crop the image, simply click Crop Image and it will output a GIF. Save that and we will move on to the next one. The next few processes are similar to the last, so I will be speeding this up. And that is our last GIF done being cropped. Now we need to add a bookmark to your browser. Here you can see I already have one, but you might not have one, so we'll be showing you how to get one. Go ahead and Google animated thumbnail Scratch and it should be the second link. Now copy this link address. Using the link address, we will be making a bookmark. Here the name of it doesn't really matter, but as long as the URL is the link address of what we just copied. This URL will run a bit of JavaScript that will change an attribute of your Scratch page, and it is safe to do. Now go back to your profile or studio and click on the project that you want to add the thumbnail to. Click the bookmark, select image, and choose the GIF that we have cropped earlier. Do the same for all of the other projects or studios. Now everything should be done if we just refresh the page, and if it loads, voila! That's how you make an animated thumbnail that spans across multiple projects or studios in Scratch. If you enjoyed this, please consider to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Sorry about that. My audio was out again. Yeah, so thank you for that, Abraham. And yeah, Deck was commenting that this is really cool and he wants to try it himself. And Funny Animator Jim says that he really enjoys these things as well. You remember seeing trains going across the screen in Scratch thumbnails, yeah. So I love the idea of being able to string together multiple ones and kind of decorate your homepage with that. It's just a fun little thing to do. So as Abraham mentioned, the Scratch team does not like animated thumbnails. They took it out of Scratch a little while ago, and putting it back in again is kind of a hack, and it eats up a little bit too much bandwidth. And so if you have done this to your project, it means you will never be featured or get any attention from the Scratch team. They've decided that they're just that they don't want to do anything to highlight projects that have done this way, because it is considered a little bit of a hack. So this animated this little bookmarklet that he was talking about is just a little bit of JavaScript. It's not actually a web page. You bookmark it. I have it bookmarked down here on my screen. It's not actually a web page. It's just a little bit of JavaScript. If you highlight it here, over it in your thumbnails, my screen magnifier is just not working today. I'm quite not sure what's happening. Anyway, so it's just a little bit of JavaScript that just adds, it just prompts you to add something, a thumbnail into the Scratch database. So let me just demo that for you one more time here. Whoops. Yeah, so I've got my thumbnail here, which is basically I've just saved that web page here. And you just need to have a Scratch project open and running. You click on the thumbnail and it will just prompt you to select an image. So you can click this button here and then grab a GIF image off your hard drive that way. And I don't know quite how the magic works, but that JavaScript just adds that that thumbnail image to the Scratch database, and that'll be attached to your project from there. So really cool little idea. Okay, guys, so I have one more. Oh, I had a message here on the YouTube chat from Barbara Grabsky. My profile in Scratch is Koala Zoo. Okay, we'll have a look at your work. Actually, I'm going to call it up right now while we're showing this video. So just hang tight, Koala, and we will have a look at your stuff in just a second. But while we're waiting for that, I have a game review of the week. So Abraham was looking this week at a Donkey Kong clone, and he'd like to show that to you right now.
Hello everybody, today we'll be reviewing Donkey Kong 1981 by Andrew Tomec. This ball of fire kind of reminds me of the Podoboo from Mario. Let's take a quick look at the original game. Did you know that Mario was originally known as Jumpman in this game, and that this is where Donkey Kong first appeared? And that the damsel in distress here is not actually Princess Peach, her name is Pauline, Mario's girlfriend. Back to the Scratch game. It takes forever to go up these ladders. Here we go again, slowly up the ladder. Once again, slowly up the... Oh, it would seem that we have died. Let's cut back to when I make it here again. I'll definitely make it this time. Oh, well maybe not. This time I'll definitely make it. First try. This game was very fun and difficult at the same time. I'll definitely recommend you check it out in your spare time. It's just a bit disappointing that there was only one level to play and no new enemies showed up. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for that report, Abraham. So I have called up the profile of Koala Zoo, who it turns out is from Poland. Good morning. And so that is Barbara, who just texted us on the YouTube chat here, and just joined 2 months ago, but has already made some great projects here. I wanted to highlight one of her projects here called Land Life. Let's have a look at it right now. So let's read what it says here. If you fail and when the revive button is pressed, then there might be a chance that the revive button won't hide. Oh, so it's move with the arrow keys, and let's have a look at how it works here. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Whoops. Let's turn that volume down a little bit. And so there's a little shop. So I'm not quite sure what to do here. Let's try clicking inside the shop and see what happens. Nice scrolling animation. The cat fell out of the island. Let's revive him. I like the 3D animation there. Oh, the revive. Let me just restart this game here. The revive's not disappearing properly. Let's have a look inside the shop and see what comes up here. Cool cat, scratch cat. So let's try equipping a cool cat here. There's different categories here, cat and cute. No, it doesn't look like I have any money here. Anyone have any idea what I'm supposed to do in this game?
You have to click the blue button.
Hit the blue button? Okay, let's see what happens here. The blue button gets us gems or something? Oh, and it makes a bridge appear. Oh! Very cool, and there's Gobo. Well, and I fell out of the island again. All right, so that's an interesting little project to explore. I wish I'd had a chance to look at it earlier. It was just something that popped up at the last second here. So I will include a link to Barbara's profile inside the file description here. If anyone wants to have a look at more of her work, I'm happy to do that. Okay, well, I think I am pretty much done for content for this week. I will be back next week with another interview with my son Jeffrey, who's off at game school in Sweden. He's made a fantastic game that I'm going to be showing you next week, and we're going to be doing a little interview with him about being, again, his latest installment on what life is like as a game design student at an elite university in Sweden. So always interesting chatting with Jeffrey about that. And he's made a fantastic new game that's out for all of you guys to play as well. I'm going to be linking to that and showing that to you next week. So we're going to show you the new game that he and his team made, and you guys are going to be able to play it as well. So that's coming up on the next live stream. Lots more coming. Please submit a parade float for us. I'm going to be showing off some of them as they start to come in, and I'm really happy to be doing that. In the meantime, yeah, Dex asking, can we play the game? Is it online or download? It's something, yeah, it's a downloadable game. It's on itch.io. And it's a single player adventure game in 3D, and it's super awesome. And I'm going to be showing it to you guys next week. But I want a reason for you guys to come back, so I'm not spilling the beans yet on this. So we can do that next week. In the meantime, happy scratching, everybody. And I will be back next Saturday, as always, at 10 a.m. See you then.